Thank you for inviting me to this program. As I told you before, I'm really proud to be in this session today because I'm one of the alumni of PSMO College, and it's very happy moment to come back to you and visiting you all, though virtually. But it's of course it's like a paying back what I learned from the college, and it's the time that alumni should pay something back to the college, and it's my call, my take. Strategy planning, international perspectives, ideas for today and tomorrow is what we are going to discuss today. Before we discuss the components or the idea of strategic planning, please read this. This is a LinkedIn post from Dr. Aziz Ismail. He is the Vice Chancellor of University Malaysia, Kelantan. University is written in Malay like TY, not TI, not TY. That's why like that. So he says he was appointed as Vice Chancellor of the university in 2019. I was first offered to become Vice Chancellor in 2017. Then I said no. Then again into next year, I was asked again to take it up, and I took it up. You got to bulldoze things was the command of the Minister of Education from Malaysia for him when he was going to the university. Except the vision and mission that remain untouched. They dared to change everything. They brought a new culture, strengthens governance, formulated new strategies, set new KPIs, increased visibility of the university, and instilled a new belief that nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. These are all from his yesterday's post. I just surprisingly saw his post yesterday, so I thought I should start with this post in today's session. And he says, by these changes, by these strategic changes, we got increase of our gross enrollment from 73 to 92, graduate entrepreneurs from 2.8 to 12.8, our overall enrollment from by 27%, and introduced 2 new programs, Bachelor of Accounting with SCCA, and another IT program with Huawei, Alibaba, and Microsoft. Yesterday, that means yesterday means day before yesterday, he says he received another good news. Demands for our programs for this coming semester is going to be shooting up from 67 to 94%. We can talk, we can walk tall now, but indeed keep our head down, because this is one of the low performing universities. It was, but it can improve, he says. Thanks to my UMK team for their dedication and commitment and strong support from BOD. In this post, I think PSMO College has a lot to learn, both for the academic leaders, both for the staff, and all who are related to this great institution. See, if you have a strategy, if you have a strategic plan, if you have a strategic thinking temperament, if you have a strategic leadership, what is going to happen is what happened to Dr. Azizi in University Malaysia, Kelantan. With these words, let's go. What we will deal with today. I'll try to take you through what is strategic planning, why is strategic planning, how, who are related with strategic planning, when to do strategic planning processes, what are the components of strategic planning, and what after strategic planning. Right. So before we go for thinking or talking about strategic planning, we must say something about strategic thinking. Strategic thinking is the foundation of strategic planning. Or otherwise, strategic planning is the product of strategic thinking. If your leadership, management, principal, head of departments, staff, everybody thinks strategically, of course, you can bring a document which we call strategic plan. You can do a process, what you call strategic planning, and you can bring this document into this planning process into a document which is called strategic plan. When I say about strategic thinking, it's not for every only for the principal and the management. It's for all. When John Kennedy was the president of America, and it was the time that America decided to send man to moon. At that time, one of the days that John F. Kennedy went to NASA lab to see the progress, how things progressing. He happened to see he saw one sweeper or cleaner in the corridor of the NASA building. He asked him, "What are you doing here?" He was cleaning the floor. He knew that he's cleaning the floor. He asked him, "What are you doing here?" He said, the cleaner said, "I am helping NASA to send a man to the moon and to bring him back." So see, this was the vision of the NASA at that time, to put a man in the moon and to bring him back safely by the decade. And they succeeded in it. But what I say is that when there was a strategic thinking, it was the director of the strategic NASA, and it was with to the level of cleaner of the institute. So this is the process of strategic thinking. Strategic thinking is the ability to learn from environment. We have a lot of different environments. Every institution has a different environment, internal environment and external environment. So by understanding current and future state of the organization, then derive new directions for the institution. This is about strategy thinking. So basically, strategy thinking is strategy formulation is the starting from the beginning. First and foremost is strategic thinking. Everybody should think differently. What difference we can bring to our college is the basic idea of strategy thinking. When you all think, you can formulate the ideas that we call strategy formulation. I will come to the details of strategy formulation. Then that leads to strategy planning. That strategic planning process leads to development of a document, what you call strategic plan. And then you have two options with the strategic plan document. You can just make a document, show to the accreditation authority, that is NAC team, when they come. When they ask you, "Do you have a strategic plan?" you can say, "Yes, we have a strategic plan." This is one option. There is no use of that document. Another option is to implement the document so that you can bring the real changes in the ground. So fundamentally, there are 4 steps of strategic process, starting from thinking, formulating, planning, documenting, then implementation. This is the 4 stages in its sequence. Once you do this, there is no option but for the college to change. There is no option but to change, of course, I'm sure. So see, major attribute of strategy planning, strategy thinking is you should know about what environment you are working in, understand what strengths and opportunities you have, what threats and weaknesses you have. You should know the problems what you are facing within the organizations. You should have a very clear vision about where you want to go in future. See, in the beginning, I agree with Nizamuddin sir when he said it's very true with every single or most of the higher education institutions in India. We lack this. We don't work with strategic plan. We have no culture of strategic thinking, but we just operate our colleges, our universities, just like a confectionery shop owner or a grocery shop owner goes to his shop, opens his shop, closes it in the evening. Similarly, mostly we are doing our academic activities, which is not going to bring strategic changes, bring groundbreaking changes in the landscape of education, in national education. So we should have a very clear future vision where we want to go. I'll come to that in detail later. So also we should be proactive in grabbing the opportunities than being reactive. See, now there is a education policy which is a very good document in many sense, but of course it has its own priorities, threats, or its own weaknesses. But as a minority institution, as a community college, what PSMO can utilize from this policy and how it can fly from its present state to future state is should be the first reaction of PSMO authority towards the policy. Then step by step plan to grab the opportunities, make use of it to make the organization better in future, better tomorrow than today and yesterday. You should have a very clear intuition of the situations of the future. Creativity, forecasting, global focus, decision making based on thinking process. If you don't take any decision based on this thinking, there is no use. An idea is useless unless it is communicated and acted upon. Of course, this is a well-known, it's well-known to all. So global focus, see, the title of today's program itself is Strategic Planning, International Perspective or Global Perspectives. Because as in the welcome speech rightly said, strategic planning is a routine of almost all education, particularly higher education institutions across the globe. It was a very routine in last 2 decades in the West, in the Europe, in America, and all. Now, I joined one of the government colleges in Oman in 2006. I was surprised to see, as principal also said, outcome-based education. I was surprised to see when I was asked to teach business studies department, human resource subjects in business studies department, they gave me a document, what we call is a single sheet document saying outcomes, learning outcomes. I didn't know that before. Then learning outcomes. Then what is a textbook? Where should I start from? Then they said, this is outcome. You should teach your students based on this outcome. At the end of this course, at the end of the semester, students should learn all these titles. That's it. You're free to make your own way of preparing the content and delivering the content to the students effectively so that they should be satisfied with your delivery. The management of the college should be satisfied with the content of the program. That's it. So what I say is outcome-based education is an old idea in many of the part of the world, but for us it is a new thing. Strategic planning is a process which is also, when I came there, it was the time that we had the first strategic planning, 2016 2019, 15 to 19, 4 years strategic plan was the first document. I joined in 2016, 6, not 15, 2005. I joined in 2006, and the first strategy plan was started in 2005 to 19, 5 years. Then 19 to 20 to 24, like this. So we should know what is happening across the globe, and we should plan ourselves. Now, this is a small strategic planning model. I'm just presenting as a visual model of strategic plan for PSMO college. See, strategic planning is a process of proactively planning the future of the college by specifying where you want to go in future, desired future state. Now we are in 2020. See, I think this is the same building where I studied 25 years before. Can anybody tell me, is the same building there, or is there a change or lookout or over of this building now?
No, no, it is the same building, but towards the back side we have a new building. That's the only
All
difference.
right, all
Yeah.
right, okay. So this is the same building. 25 years before, I was in the same building. I think this institute was started in 1968. I think, is it true? PSMO
Yeah,
College
yeah,
was started
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah. Correct. Yeah,
1968.
correct. Correct.
Yes, and it's 68, and I think this is the building of 1968. The outlook and inlook of the building itself is still one of the same, mostly with no bring much changes. So I'm proposing of a new outlook for this building's infrastructure wise. You can see in 2030, we wish to have, like in 10 years time, to be have that sort of building that on the right top. In addition to this infrastructure, see, infrastructure is not very much important, but it is also important nowadays. See, I'll tell you why infrastructure is important, because when I was studying in this college of that particular building, which is seen on the left bottom, I was not living in a terrace house. It was a tiled house, right? Most of us were not living in terrace house when we were studying in terrace college. Now our college is still terrace, but it is a ruined one. But our houses are like the one which is you can see on the right side. So there is a huge change in the landscape of social life. This should also be brought into the landscape of the college. This is one parameter. So it is still a conventionally aided college. NIRF ranking is, I think, 176 somewhere. Of course, it is between 150 to 200, according to the latest the statistics. And there is no ranking, no place of ranking for the institute in. There is no place for ranking for the institute now in overall ranking list. We are not placed, and we also have only conventional degree and PG courses. Only few changes what I saw from your website is that you have started research, which was not there when I was there, and infrastructure is still basic. Less contribution to the community and from the community. We can have a discussion on this one later. What is the contribution to the community and from the community? If anybody wants to take up this decision, please note that one, and we can have it late towards the end of this session. Now, I propose in 2030, after 10 years from now, PSMO college should be an autonomous college, and I say like in two years time, 2022, also NRF ranking from the 176 to bring down into 100 or below 100, first among the 100 colleges, and 2025, within 5 years time, you can bring it in among 50 colleges if you have the wish and will, and it should be known for new generation UG and PG programs another 2025. 2 to 3 groundbreaking research outputs, not regular or usual research papers, publications, PhDs. No, groundbreaking research output. When I say, I mean it's like it has a capacity to bring changes in the social life, scientific inventions, and all, business arena and all. So this is what we call groundbreaking research output, which is possible, but we don't have that direction at present. That's why it is not happening. High quality infrastructure, enhanced community outreach, as I told you before, exemplary community outreach by enhancing the outreach by 2022, that is in 2 years time from now, and you become exemplary organization for your community outreach by 2025. So what I say is, if you have an idea of strategic planning, if you do this for your organization, you can achieve this by these years. If not by these years, by nearly by these years. So the idea of strategic planning is basically bringing changes in entire aspects of the organization. So you can say the word meaning of strategy is not change, but the idea of strategy means change, bring change. I think this is all clear to you all now. Is it true?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any?
But this building is a little bit new, sir. The building that is started in 1968 is our commerce block, the tiled one. But this is
All right.
something new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
It's around, I think,
I
in
understand.
1990s.
That is from the
Yeah, but
very
you
good.
are correct.
So the
It
one
was
which
around 1990s.
correct. Okay. So what I
Yeah,
say
yeah,
is what you said is the right building on the right side of the campus, right? When we
yeah,
enter from the campus,
yeah, yeah,
are
yeah,
the
yeah,
commerce block and which is the first
yeah,
building.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah,
what I
yeah.
say is, so if I ask a small question to you, a simple question to you, what specific or groundbreaking changes PSMO has brought in last 5 years time, 2015 to 20? Could you please list 2 to 3 items other than what I have listed here? Anybody can respond. What specific changes that you brought in academic field, in research field, in community outreach, in infrastructure, in academic technologies, and all these things? Could you please respond? Anybody else other than Nizamuddin sir and principal sir? Please welcome, please. Yes. All right. So I'm moving to the next slide. See, this is the benefit of going to have strategy to bring to the college. Now, see, I'm putting 11 parameters where you can see the value gap. When we say value gap, the value gap means the value that you provide to your students, parents, community as an institution from the present to the future. That is the gap. So that's why strategy planning. Strategy planning, why strategy planning answers that study plan will eliminate this gap, fill this gap, and bring better results. For example, attract best students. Do you think that PSMO college attracts the best students from the region nowadays? Or is this a first choice for the students who want to study in an aided college or a government college? Is PSMO the first choice among the many institutions in Calicut and Malappuram district at least? Please respond if yes. You can say put your comments in the chat box as well. So one of your target is to attract best students. I know that PSMO attracts best students. So many of the best students it attracts. It has the capacity to attract best students. But do you produce the best graduates? Students, when they come in, they come with a vigor. They come with a lot of energy, a lot of aspirations, a lot of ambitions. Do they go back with better arms at their hands? Do you produce them as best graduates? What I was saying, why strategy planning is to identify the value gaps and to fill the value gaps. You can see my voice, right? Hear my voice, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's clear now, sir.
And the screen is also available, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's rather more clear rather than the earlier one this time.
All right. So what about my video is also visible?
Video is also visible and the slides are also changing.
All right, all right, all right. Good. See, the idea of strategy planning is basically to identify what is the gap existing in your operation, in your future directions, and how to minimize that gap, how to eliminate the gap, and to fill up these gaps and to make your organization more relevant. This is the idea of why strategy plan. So attracting best students. I was asking, I didn't get any answer from the audience. I was asking, do you think that PSMO attracts the best students from the region? When I say region, Malappuram and Calicut districts just only. Do you think the best?
Yes, sir. If you responses have came in the chat box, actually we attract best students from the different districts of Malabar.
My question is, do you attract the best, the toppers of these two districts? Do they choose to come to PSMO, or they want to go to somewhere else? Even they want to study like UG programs. Okay.
No, of course. So their first choice is not PSMO.
Of course.
Truly speaking.
All right. So this is one of the challenges, value gap, that we have, which, to attract the best students. Okay, forget about best students. Of course, I know that PSMO attracts among the best students. Among the best students you attract, I know, from very beginning and still. But next question is very, very important question. Do you produce best graduates? Do you think that the students, when they go out, are the best comparing to your peer organizations? Like you take like 50 aided colleges in Malappuram and Calicut district, and like BA economics students, or MSc physics students, or MCOM students. Do you think that MCOM students from PSMO are the best commerce students, graduates, comparing to other colleges in the region? Please tell me.
Yes, sir, it is true in the case of commerce, because even last year also we have produced nearly 22 net graduate students who qualified net.
Very good. So across the sections,
hello sir, I have to say that this year, the last time when the result published, we got four rankings out of 10. 10 rankings, we got fourth ranking in Calicut University.
Very good. This is a good indicator of.
As Nizam sir told that we produced 22 net JRF2.
Great result. This is a very good result. So what I say is, do you think that there is still a chance for you to improve? I mean, in producing the best graduates. Hello?
No, always
yes,
scope to improve. From good to better.
Good to better, of course, right? So that is the value gap. So increasing student strength. I know that the programs are filled up with full of students, but if you have a lot of other new programs, of course you can have more students. High quality programs, quality of the programs, best faculties, and as the principal of the college or management representative, you can tell me, do you think that you attract the best faculties when you advertise for advertisements for the positions, vacant positions? Best infrastructure, number of researchers. Number of research and quality of research are two different things. You can produce number of researchers, but you should ensure the researchers that you produce are of good quality. That's why I told you before, groundbreaking research produce outputs. Branded placements. You should ensure that your placement students who have studied in the college are placed in fortune companies, 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 fortune companies across the world. Financial sustainability. This is one of the key areas management has to think, particularly in case of PSMO, because PSMO is a zero donation organization, I know, and that value still it is keeping. So of course such organizations always face sustainability issues. So what is your call in this? How can you do that? We can come to that point later. I have some suggestions. All right, community outreach. So these are all the areas where you continuously evaluate where you are standing now and where you want to reach, and strategies, tactics, action plans you prepare to bring results, changes in this area is basically strategic planning. Okay, every single institution is facing tremendous challenges in terms of different aspects: student competencies, unpredictable unemployment scenarios in the market, varying perceptions of the society about the institutions and about the colleges, about the graduates. Also, accreditation standards, which is one of the pressing demand of all colleges nowadays across the country. So how to be A++. If you have I'm damn sure that if you have a strong strategic plan to work on accreditation standards, you can get it. And also outcome-based education, community interest. Now, few things again to come back to PSMO. You know, when this college was founded in 1960s, the founders had a vision about this college. I think it was like 10 years before or so, Farouk College was founded, mostly by the same founders or the founders of same ideologies. If you compare PSMO College with Farouk College, I'm not going to do that attempt or exercise now, but Farouk College has attained the autonomous status. A rigorous exercise have been done by them to achieve that status in terms of number of programs, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of community support, in terms of attracting best students, in terms of bringing better outputs. So there is, if you compare of mostly similar institutions, do you think that you were able to achieve the founder's vision in last 50 years? If it is not there, this is the starting point for you. If you do a systematic planning process for the college, it can bring. Getting autonomous status is another key milestone that you can achieve through strategic planning. Meeting stakeholders' needs, current needs and future needs. You know, when I say stakeholder, people misunderstand the word stakeholders. Stakeholder, people misunderstand sometimes as shareholders. This is not a shareholding institution. It's a community college. So stakeholder means has nothing to do with shareholder. Stakeholder means any single person, organization, entity that has an interest in the college. Your student is a stakeholder. Parents of students are stakeholders. Organizations that support you are stakeholders. UGC is a stakeholder. University of Calicut is a stakeholder. Other colleges that they cooperate with you are stakeholders. So different stakeholders. Regionally, stakeholders and community-wise stakeholders. So the entire society, living society within this region where your students come in are the broad stakeholders of your institution. So what are their interests? What are their demands? What they want to get from this college? What they want to give to this college? You should be able to meet these demands. Rules of funding. Another now challenging thing is that there is the funding scenario or funding criteria is going to be changed now. UGC has already announced that one, and it's also going to be changed now by the new education policy. Recently, I have read in a newspaper by the recommendation that Higher Education Committee committee set up by the state government, Kerala state government, submitted their recommendations to only give new generation courses to an NIRF this much ranking colleges. So this is a challenge for PSMO college. It's not going to get new generation courses because it's not falling under first 100 colleges. This could be a challenge. So you should come out of it. In order to come out of it, you should be planning or thinking of strategic changes. Academic diversifications and add-on courses, creating diverse versions, all these things. Brand building for PSMO, and enhanced research orientation, effective utilization of available resources, enhancing resources in future to meet the requirements and to get new revenue sources of revenue, like training and coaching are allied activities of the college nowadays. Explore opportunities from the Okay. So I was talking why is strategy planning. These are all the reasons that you should do systematic planning. Then now I say how to do systematic planning. In order to meet these changes, you look what are the areas that you have the challenges now. Identify the areas there you want to bring the changes. Then prioritize the areas for implementation. Plan it for coming 5 years. People, when they say strategy planning, people say, those who understand about the strategy plan, they say it is basically for the business organizations. This is not for educational institutions. I totally disagree with them. As Nizamuddin sir in the beginning said, strategy planning officer, I was working in a university in Oman as a strategy planning officer before. Now I am in Qatar. I am working in a strategy planning officer, and we have a department called Institutional Excellence Department. Our department has 12 staff. Our department name is Institutional Excellence Department. What we do? We regularly on a daily basis think of to make the institution excellent. Excellent means excellent among all other institutions. So strategy is basically, like when you were talking about, people were talking about HR department in business world. In 1970s, there was no HR department. In 1980s, many companies started coming with HR department. In 1990s and early 2020s, we started with bringing IT departments. Before 90s, if you say IT department, nobody knows what is an IT technician, what is an IT department, because now everybody has to have IT department. We are now doing these things through IT technology. In 2000 and beginning of 2000 in India, also we started having strategic planning departments, institutional effectiveness department, institutional excellence department, strategic planning officers. I'm sure in another 10 to 15 years time, all the colleges, including the aided colleges and government colleges, are going to have strategy departments or strategy planning officers, because if you are not strategically relevant, you cannot sustain in the market. It's not only applicable to business organizations, but also applicable to education institutions. And there are a lot of testimonies for this from the Kerala itself. See, I have read the news in last few days before. Hundreds of colleges have been closed in Kerala recently. Is it true? Can anybody say answer?
Yeah, it is true, sir. Particularly, mainly the engineering colleges.
Exactly. Many of the unaided colleges have been shut down. Why? Because they were not strategically moving. they were, just coming and operating and closing at the evening. That's why they lost their relevance. They are not producing good graduates, and they lost their significance, and they were forced to shut down because there was no customers to come and take their courses. See, in the new education policy, I think there is a phase out process for the aided colleges as well, right? Aided college concept is going to be ceased to exist, right? Is it true?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. In how many years time it is going to be?
It's not correctly mentioned, but in 3 to 5 year time, every college has to go to autonomy.
Autonomous status.
Yeah. Autonomy is an important point that is proposed by NEP.
Exactly.
There is not time gap is not mentioned.
Yes. So see, this is the policy of the present government. This may change if the new government comes. If it's a change in government comes, also same government with a different policy may. But this is a big challenge now. Aided colleges, those people who came and joined the colleges with 20-25 lakhs and other things, these people are going to be losing their job, or they have to find out relevance for themselves to fit themselves in another organizations, or to make this institution strategically relevant, policy wise relevant for the in front of the government. So you have to plan for that. With these words, I would like to know now to move to what is strategy planning. Till now, if you have any questions, can you please ask? We have a few more time to go. Please, if you have any questions, anybody can ask questions. Move to the next part of the presentation, which is what is strategy planning. So I think you might have got the idea by now from my talk, what is strategy planning. But still, I would say strategy planning is a process of looking into the environment, current environment, creating a direction for growth, for development proactively, instead of reacting to the changes that they occur. Now, we are trying to become autonomous because a reactionary change, because the new policy says that there is no relevance for aided colleges now other than getting autonomy. Otherwise, there is no relevance. So our move is a reactionary movement. We should be proactively moving towards this change before. Practical approach. Strategic planning is a practical approach to achieve desired future state that are called strategies. So we do something, what we call strategies. By doing these things, what we are going to achieve is a future state. I'll come to that in detail later. So strategy planning are determined by assessing its internal environment and external environment. What is internal environment and external environment? How to do assessment? We'll come to that later. If I get time. Otherwise, we can do it later. See, there are a lot of changes in the environment, social changes, political changes, economic changes. People are not ready to, they'll be looking for lesser paid colleges nowadays, or, because of the COVID and its economic impacts. Legislative changes, technological changes. When I say technological changes, I believe that PSMO College is doing online courses for its students, right? You're delivering all of your courses through online nowadays, right?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Okay. See, this is a good point. But of course, with very little IT infrastructure, right? For example, I will ask you, do you use Moodle for all the subjects?
No, sir.
Moodle?
No.
Any other alternative technology for you? Or only video classes?
Yeah, video classes. Online classes, as well as video classes. Via, say, Google Classroom as well as YouTube channels.
Yes. So see, Google Classroom and YouTube Classroom or Google Scholar, all these things, Google Classroom and other platforms are the basic IT educational technologies. Apart from that, for example, in the college, see, when I say, when I give the example of Oman, you should know Oman was one of the most backward countries in education. In 1971, when the Sultan Qaboos came into power, there was only 3 schools in the whole country. 3 schools in the whole country. Now, Ministry of Education is the largest employer in Oman now, at present, for last 10, 15 years now. Ministry of Education is the largest employer in the country. Means number of teaching faculties, teachers is the highest giving employment to the people by the country. So that is a change. In 45 years time, he has brought into such a big change in the country that from 3 schools in the country to the largest employer status. This is one. Another thing, Moodle, all other technologies using for education and delivery of education courses was in implementation in Oman since very beginning of 2000s. Means almost 20 years now they are using it. We used to get the assignment from the students in Moodle. We mark the assignments in Moodle and we give the results to the students by online. We do lecture by video classes. So our movement, as I told you before, our movement now to shift to the technological platform is reactionary than proactive. But Oman and other Gulf countries and other countries also in the US and the West and all other countries, they are proactive. I happen to be in Malaysia for purpose of my PhD, and I have lived there, and I have seen in 2010 and onwards a lot of technological advancements in education arena in Malaysia, right 10-15 years before now, from now. So we are far behind. We have only, we need to strategize ourselves. So this is strategy planning. In terms of technology changes, we have to respond to those technological changes. In terms of economic changes, we have to respond to that one. So also then strategy planning, another component of strategy planning is to monitor and adapt to changes to place us well in future, present and future. Strategy plan helps an institution to set long-term goals, establish priorities and achieve them. So basically, if you ask me what are the components of strategy planning, I would say vision, mission, values, SWOT analysis, goals and objectives, measures and targets, initiatives, or you can say projects and activities, action plan for implementation of your plan, monitoring and evaluation, adaptation and progresses. These are all the basic 10 steps of strategy planning. See, what is a vision? Vision, very important. Most of the organizations, they write vision to fulfill the NAAC accreditation. I am sure. A well-thought vision is something different from a vision that you write for NAAC accreditation. People sometimes fail to understand between the vision and mission. I will say, see, mission is nothing but your purpose of existence. Why do you exist? So if I asked you this question to the audience, why does PSMO College exist? What is the answer? Please get me some answers by voice if not, because I'm not able to see the chat box now. Why does PSMO College exist?
Better education to the weaker portions of the society, particularly towards the Malabar part of Kerala.
Okay. So basically to deliver education, right?
Yeah.
Within that, you have a specific objective to attend to the educational requirement of the weaker sections, right?
Yeah.
So that is the only objective.
The actual aim is to produce changes in the society.
So what I say, the components of study plan is to have a very clear vision. Vision means a foresighted view where you want to reach. Mission means, what are you doing now? That is mission. Make it clear. Please try to differentiate between what is a vision and what is a mission. Vision means your destination, where you want to reach. Mission means what are you doing now as an institution. Values means the principles by which you are doing your operations. SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. You should know what your strengths are, so that you can improve your strength, enhance your strength. You should know where you are weak, so that you can minimize your weakness. You should know what are the opportunities outside the organization for you to grab, so that you can work for that to get that one. You should know what are the present and future threats for the college, so that you can minimize, or you can offset the threats. So this is idea of doing SWOT analysis. I will maybe in another session sometimes later we can have detail of all these things. So based on your vision, your mission, understanding the environment, understanding what strength, what weakness you have, understanding what opportunities and threats you are facing, you can set some goals, specific goals, bigger goals. Goals in terms of academic goals, goals in terms of student achievements, attainments, goals in terms of research, goals in terms of infrastructure, goals in terms of financial sustainability, goals in terms of staff development, goals in terms of social commitment. These are all the broad areas that an education institution is supposed to develop goals. So within each goal, you are supposed to bring specific objective. I will come to that later. Specific objective. So for example, you say like you have 7 goals, and within each goal you can derive 2 to 3 objectives. So 1 to 2 or 2 to 1 to 3 objectives. So within 7 goals, like 2 to 3 objectives, like it means like 10 to 15 objectives. Then you want to check how you can achieve these objectives. That is what we call measure and target. Then in order to achieve these objectives, you prepare some plan, strategies, initiatives that you call projects and activities. So all these ideas you put into one single document, what you call strategic plan. That is, say like for 5 years or 10 years. Usually education institutions and business organizations, they make their plans for 3 to 5 years at the beginning. Then each single plan you break this one into one single year plan. That is what you call implementation plan or operation plan or action plan. Then very frequently, like semester wise or every quarter, calendar quarter wise, you do assess, monitor and evaluate where you are reaching, what is happening, what is performing, what is not performing, how to bring changes, how to take things out, how to bring new things in. That you call adaptation, and of course you will do the progress. So having said this one, I will take you a little more through the vision and other components. Any other question from now? For now? If you have any question, please ask now. Vision is an aspirational description of what you want to achieve in certain years of time. This will guide you to reach there. So your vision statement defines where you want to get into. Look this picture. Some new heights. In 2020, you are at the point A. In 2025, you want to reach at the point B. This is the destination. So B is your destination. So your dream about point B is your vision. What you are doing now is your mission. So see, this gentleman has reached his vision by running, by his calculating his steps. That is a strategy. Calculating how many steps he has to take. See, what is the strategy? What strategy he has taken? He has wore appropriate clothes, good boot, a good place to walk or to run. Then he has taken sufficient food before he starts walking. Then he wore all PPEs. PPE is a new term now, but it is very common to all now. Personal protective equipments in order to avoid slipping and reaching the destination. All these things he has taken care, and he reached this destination. Now, for the college, it has to take all such precautions, all such steps to reach into the destination. So this is what we call strategy. So B is your destination, A is your current state, and your dream about reaching B is your vision. So a vision statement is a grand picture of where you want to go. See, PSMO college, I have written a sample vision for the college by 2020. PSMO college aspires to become a college of choice in Malabar, or in state, or in country. This all up to you to write what you want to write. Okay, you can write a college of choice in Malabar, or you can say a college of choice in North Kerala, or you can say a college of choice in the whole state, or you can say a college of choice in the country for undergraduate and postgraduate studies in arts, humanities, and science education by 2020. This is a vision. This vision tells you clearly where you want to go. This tells you what you want to do, that is your mission, what you want to do, and which directions you want to proceed. I put it clearly: arts, humanities, and science. 3 areas. Can anybody other than principal and Nizamuddin sir tell me what is written in red in the towards last of this slide? What is that?
So it's written, our vision is to provide education of quality and breadth within a supportive environment, enabling students to further their potential and fulfill their ambitions. We are committed to encouraging the more young people and adults in the field of education.
Very good. This is a mission. Mostly it is a mission statement. So this is the purpose of your existence. This is not giving you where you want to go in like 10 years or 5 years or something like that. All right. So what I say is mission is different from vision, and we should have a very clear mission and vision. After vision and mission, we should know what is your goals and what are the goals and objectives. So when I say strategic planning as global perspective, please understand that every single institutions in this globe is doing a lot of in this area. All institutions are facing tremendous challenges. They are facing competitions across the globe. Private institutions, aided institutions, government institutions, unaided or everything. Every single institution is facing a lot of challenges. So they have to plan and work for the future. And challenges are region to region, institution, it is different. So your strategy is your own strategy. Your strategy cannot be copied and implemented by another institution and reach this. No. So to face challenges, all HEI means higher education institutions. Higher education institutions need to plan and act. It's not only to face challenges, as also we should understand, this is not only as a response to challenges, but also to move towards future heights. So it is basically to differentiate the quality of your students. So your students, present quality of students and future quality of students should be different. For that, we need to plan. This is every education institutions in higher education scenario across the globe are doing this one. We should also be, we should not so be far behind them. So it is a regular activity. It is not like a one-time activity and forgetting about this. It is, you know, it is like it's not very common in India. You can see what, you can read what I have written towards the end of this slide in the red lines.
Yes, why IITs and IIMs maintain their standards?
Yes, exactly. You know, that is a good question. I was thinking about IITs and IIMs, and I understood that, you know, why they maintain these standards, because nothing but because they are having this strategic planning process long time before. Every time they do different strategies, they think strategically, and they become top institutions. So this is applicable to PSMO college as well. If PSMO college takes up the challenge of making a strategic plan, leading this institution in terms of strategy, directions, it can become an excellent institution. Okay, I have at length talked about the mission and then values. See here, this is the mission statement of the PSMO college. Here, in the last 4 sentences, you can see equal opportunities, emphasis on rigor and creativity, creation of enabling environment, development of interlinkage across teaching. These are all, you know, basically mostly values or principles. So your mission is blended with mission and values. So I think this is an exercise, you can do it later, to bifurcate vision, design a vision, bifurcate vision and mission and values. I think you got my point. Values, as I told you, goals I completed. Initiatives and projects are the activities that you do to accomplish the strategic goals and objectives. Operation plan, the whole study plan is broken up into different annual plans. Okay, now the question, who will do this and when you will do this? You can see the screen, right?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yes.
Okay, slide number 19, yes. Okay, so who are the people involved in a strategy plan? See, usually there are two approaches. People sometimes they at the top level, principal and the management or IQAC coordinator or somebody else sit and they make a plan and they post in the website and they give this one to an accreditation authorities or other people. You know, this is one approach. The other approach is, you know, involve all people, all stakeholders. Ask everybody what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, what opportunities we have, what threats we are facing, even include students. In universities, Oman and Qatar and all, you know, we include students. In India, it is very easy because you have student unions. Student unions are the representatives of the students. So get the student unions into the planning process, ask them what you need from us, what more we can serve for you. Ask teaching faculties what extra you can contribute to the college, what extra you can do, what extra we can do for you to contribute yourself to better future of this college. You know, I can understand. I know I have studied 25 years before, and yesterday I asked some of your colleagues, naming some of the staff, and they told me and none of them are there now. Maybe one or two teaching faculties are there, or management staff are there. Otherwise, most of them got retired. So what I say is, there is a young blood in the college. The college has to utilize this blood to better future, to frame a better future. So bottom-up approach, all staff, all faculties, they should know it. You remember the example I told you about the NASA. The cleaning boy or the office boy or the bell boy at the college should know what is the mission, what is the vision, where it wants to go. Then you make a committee or a group to work on this one, especially all HODs, all academic leaders, what you call, then act upon it, and then identify one person as a champion of the strategy planning. Like you have IQAC coordinator. In most of the organizations, quality assurance, strategy planning are one of the same department. Like I told you about our department, institutional excellence department, we have three subdivisions. One is quality assurance, the other one is strategy planning, fourth one is institutional research. Institutional research has nothing to do with PhD or other researches, but only about institution, the college. Why? What is the new market for us? Why students are withdrawing? Why academic promotion? Why students are choosing this program, especially not the other programs? All these lot of questions you can ask, and they bring with results based on which we make plans. So we should have a department or a section of people full-time, or of course we have limitations of creating full-time as aided colleges under government and university regulations, but you can think of consultancy, you can think of same people equipping, empowering same people who are working in different assignments, like we have NCC, we have NSS, we have quality assurance, we have other priorities, giving different responsibility for different teachers. Similarly, you can think of making some people champion, at least one person champion of strategy planning and driving the strategy plan. And of course, it is a continuous process. It's not like one-time activity and go from there. So by towards end of my presentation, I would say these are all some exercises that you can do from thinking globally and acting locally. Like, you review the existing vision and mission of the college, check whether they are fit enough, need any change. Please do a small exercise towards that, by that, okay? Another one is differentiate between existing vision and mission. Review and differentiate. Then try to separate values or principles from the mission, which is embedded now or clubbed together now. Identify goals and objectives. What goals you can determine? Objective, when I say objective, is sub goals. I told you before this one. If you have some questions, you can ask this later. Objectives are nothing but sub goals or small goals, specific goals to the bigger goals. Identify projects and activities to do that. Operational plan. Make operational plan out of the strategy plan for 1 year. Create a strategic planning team. Do continuous evaluation. In our college, we do every single quarter of the calendar, we do evaluation, what we are doing, where we are reaching, and what needs to change. Communicating strategies. This is very important. That's why I asked this question when I wrote the college mission and vision in the red lines, and asked you, where from I have taken this one. You were not very much able to say the source of the vision of the very college where you are working. So people should know what is the vision, what is the mission, what our priorities in coming 5 years, what we want to achieve, how I can contribute to this. Adapt changes. When there is something you invented, it is working more, do work more. When you saw something is not functioning well, eliminate it, avoid it, and then bring new changes. So these are all the some exercises that you can do later after finishing this session, yourself as a team or as individuals, and I will be more than happy to share this presentation to you. Before I stop my session, I would say you should be able to think out of the box. If you want to become relevant, think out of the box. Many of you know that what is this pictures, right? Can anybody tell me what is this picture?
Yes, sir. We have to join all these cross marks without taking the pen out of the paper. But this is
Exactly.
if and only if we think out of the boundary.
Exactly. See, when I was given this exercise by one of my friends to do this, I tried many times, how to put my pen and touching all points without taking the pen, single attempt. So I failed several times. Then I knew that this is the way we should think out of the box so that we can achieve the goal. So in order to achieve your vision, in order to perform well, in order to make your organization more relevant, all of you should think out of the box. If you think out of the box, if you're ready to contribute out of the box, please ask this question yourself. Can you contribute to achieve the founder's vision? Can you meet stakeholders' needs? Do you think that if you do plan strategically, you can get autonomous status, you can get more funding, you can improve your ranking, you can diversify academically, you can build a new branding for the college, you can enhance new orientation for research, you can utilize your resources effectively and find out new resources for the existence and improvement of the college, and to become financially viable and sustainable by holding the organizational values. I hope I did my part. Rest is for you. Thank you very much.